What's the deal, YouTube? It's Holy One, and these are gonna be my God of War impressions. So let's start with the good so far in the game. I'm about 4 hours in or 5 hours into the game so far. Um, so here's what I like about the game so far. Atreus, the little kid who follows you around, Kratos' alleged son, is pretty helpful. He can basically counter enemies, use arrows, and all that sort of thing, similar to Ellie in The Last of Us. I like that a lot. The second thing I like is Kratos' new axe. It's very cool. You can send it out to attack. You can upgrade. You can also use bare fists with your shield and upgrade it further. I also like the upgrade system in the game. It's a bit convoluted and overwhelming at first, but after you get it used to it, you can figure things out. Crafting is okay, but it's not the greatest. When it comes to enemy and particle effects, those are pretty up to par, and the graphics are pretty good. I've seen they probably on par with pretty much close to a high-end game. I still think some PC games look better, like Shadow Warrior 2, just for examples. And now when it comes to frames per second, the frame rate is very noticeable. The reason for me noticing the 30 FPS is because I play a lot of action games at 60, from Bayonetta from Vanquish to others, from other Platinum games to other action games on PC like Shadow Warrior and so on. So playing an action game at 30 feels very disorienting, and the game has a lot of heavy motion blur as well. So if you can get motion sickness, this could cause a problem for you. But other than that, the combat, if you can stand 30 FPS for an action game, is still pretty good for that. Now, when it comes to the story, the story is very slow starting off. I'm not gonna say that's a negative because I haven't seen that entire story yet, but from what I've seen so far, it's okay so far. The story's okay so far. So minus the frame rate being bad, frame rate being okay, that's not really a thing that's bad about the game. Now for the bad things about the game, I don't like that it has so much motion blur. Like, motion blur kind of gets me motion sickness. I know that can be a lot of things for most people, but the game is heavy on motion blur. Also, Kratos' new voice actor can be a little distracting. If you played all the God of War games for the past 13 years, the new voice acting can definitely, for Kratos, distract you. If you notice that a lot. It doesn't really take away from the game. I really don't care if Kratos' voice has changed, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, like Kratos' new voice actor. Now, when it comes to the combat, there are some things that I don't like about it. It's not that the combat itself is convoluted, it's the controls. The controls I don't like. I know you can do classic controls, but those still don't even feel good. So I feel like the controls for combat, using the back triggers to aim your weapon and then throw it, can be quite difficult when you're raising a ladder and you have to use your second joystick with your left thumb to aim your axe. Can be very annoying at times. And the way you heal, you have to pretty much find health items as well. That's kind of a negative as well. The climbing can be a little difficult too. I'm just not the climbing itself. It's just like you got to figure out where you're going. The game doesn't tell you where to go. It just points this little dot on the screen. It says, "Hey, go here," but there's side stuff, and doing the side stuff can be easily missed. So I feel like you're missing a lot of stuff. The map system in this game is kind of garbage, so if you go to your hub menu, you look at the map, it's straight garbage. I don't like the map in this game at all. I know people say, "Oh, this game is a 10 out of 10." So far for me, if the story does turn out to be good, the game will probably be like a solid 8 for me. It would definitely be a bit higher if the frame rate was 60, if they gave me an option for that, which they don't on the Pro, so I can't really justify that. And, if they actually incorporated better controls for the game, because for me, what could break a game if it's action is frame rate and controls. Now, if the frame was 30 and the controls were good, I would be like, okay, the game's good. It doesn't matter. The controls are good. But the controls and frame rate, those add up together and can definitely cause problems for me overall. I'm still going to try to finish the game. It doesn't feel like a chore to play yet, but it definitely does feel like it's taken a lot of books from The Last of Us. It doesn't feel like the old God of Wars at all. You can't jump anymore, which I really don't care if Kratos can't jump anymore. He can evade, which is good enough for me. So, yeah, those are my overall thoughts for the game, guys. Let me know what you think. This is your boy, Holy One, out!